Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Vicki Chats podcast. I have a very special guest in the studio with me today, ladies and gentlemen. We have Jerry Harris, president of the Cedar Falls Operations and Chief Experience Officer of Western Home Communities. Jerry brings more than 35 years of dedicated service to one of the Cedar Valley's most respected senior living organizations and has played a key role in its growth, innovation, and commitment to resident-centered care. A former University of Northern Iowa football player, go Panthers, and first-generation college graduate, Jerry has built a remarkable career focused on creating vibrant communities where older adults can thrive. Since joining Western Home Communities in 1988, Jerry has helped guide major campus development, strengthen community partnerships, and expand programs that support wellness, connection, and purposeful living. Today, Jerry joins us to discuss Western Home Communities' upcoming Campus Exploration Day on Wednesday, the 26th of August at 10 a.m. You need to get pre-registered, and we'll give you the deets on that. And an opportunity for community members to experience firsthand what makes Western Home unique through educational presentations, guided tours, and meaningful conversations about planning for the future. Please welcome with me Jerry Harris.
Well, thank you, Vicki. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to reconnect. We've known each other a long time. And it's good to be with you here this morning.
It's fabulous to have you here. It's such an honor and such a pleasure. So, Jerry, you've been part of Western Home Communities since 1988. How did that journey begin?
Well, interesting enough, I had some classes at the university that needed some volunteer hours, right?
Okay.
So 12 hours.
Yeah.
Because my plan was to go back to Northwood, Iowa, run the Lutheran home, help my family farm. And I did these 12 hours at the Western home, which at that time was the original building right across from utilities.
Yes.
And that was my introduction to the place.
Wow.
And so I did those 12 hours, and I continued to do some volunteer work there through my time at the university. I graduated in 1989, and then did my practicum and residency in long-term care administration under Bill Applegate.
Oh my God!
You remember Bill?
Yes.
And did that there. Did that for about a year and a half, and he asked me to stay on.
Yay!
So I did.
Way to go, Bill.
And had so many great mentors during that time, people that have been there a long time that taught me so many things about caring for our seniors.
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons I stayed.
I love that so much. And you were a UNI football player and a first-generation college student. How did those experiences shape your leadership style?
So, yeah, I came, Denny Remmer, a longtime coach here at UNI, actually recruited me. And I'm so thankful for that, for him to give a small town Iowa kid an opportunity to play football at UNI. My time on the football team was about a year. I didn't play a number of years. I was a junior college transfer, but I had a wonderful experience and had some wonderful friends and made some great relationships within the university. And certainly playing football, you learn things like teamwork. You learn like problem solving, how you manage your time and things like that. Really expanded into some student government. I became an RA at the university, but had some really, really nice leadership opportunities to kind of hone some of the leadership styles that I still use today.
And you were an RA and dancer hall?
I was an RA and dancer hall, ninth floor, the Wilson House. Denny Bowman, who many of you know in the community, was our floor president. So,
oh my gosh, are you serious?
So we had a great time.
Oh, I bet you did.
And had a great floor and a great experience there.
Oh, I love it.
Being an RA in the resident hall system.
Oh, that's so exciting. 2 of my children were in that dorm. Dancer, Rachel and Jonathan.
Okay. Yeah, we had a great time there.
Oh, I bet you did. So exciting. And what has kept you so passionate about serving older adults for more than 35 years?
Yeah, Vicki, I think the thing is, as I've aged myself, of just watching how we take care of our aged folks has changed. 30 years ago, we were really in a healthcare model, right?
Yes.
There were nursing homes, there were residential care facilities. A lot of families, actually, nuclear families, took care of their elderly mom or dad or aunt or uncle. And over the years, it's really evolved into we still do healthcare because we're all aging one day at a time.
Right.
But we've really gone into a health mode and a wellness mode, which has been really exciting. I've always been into wellness and fitness and things like that. And to see these generations grasp these wellness models and try to age longer and not only survive, but to thrive as we age. I think that's really important. And to be a part of that and to be a part of an organization that has supported that and been a part of those initiatives has really been exciting.
Exactly. So what is Campus Exploration Day and what can visitors expect?
So Campus Exploration Day is a day that we started a number of years ago to actually get people on campus, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times when you first enter a campus, you might be a son or a daughter or a friend that comes with someone that might be touring any of these facilities. But what it does is it gets people on campus to not only look at what is available on campus with a lot of wellness programs, those sorts of things, but also to explore this whole concept that 80% of our folks that are aging really want to do, and that's stay at home.
Yes.
And to explore those kinds of things.
Yeah.
What's available to me as I look at maybe aging at home, maybe not even being on campus.
Right.
And how do I connect with an organization that's providing those kinds of services?
Exactly. And it's coming up on Wednesday the 26th.
Coming up on Wednesday the 26th, I think we begin at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And we're going to start with a meal and some fellowship and kind of get people settled in to be able to converse and have a little fellowship. And then we'll do some touring. We do have some speakers that are going to be talking about some critical items as we age, whether that be in your home or whether that be on a campus or in a facility. And that's right sizing. Yeah. And what do we do with our stuff?
Right.
What do we do with these things that we accumulate and keep throughout our lifespan?
Mm-hmm. I love how you reframed that from downsizing to right sizing.
Yeah, right. I like the word right sizing. That's downsizing sometimes has a negative connotation that we don't want to hear coming out of our lips or hear in our ears. But
exactly. So tell me, why is the event especially helpful for individuals beginning to think about their future living options?
Yeah, Vicki, people transition well when they can do it, I think, with planning. You never want to make a decision in life where there's a crisis or you're in one of those positions where you have to make so I think people that take the opportunity on any of these exploration days or things to kind of do the legwork. What's out there? What's available? We all hear from our friends and neighbors and cohorts what's out there, but to really dig in and explore what is out there, at least at Western Home Communities. And we talk a lot about what's out there in the community as well. We want our individuals in the community to age well and know about the services out there. So we'll expand some of those discussions. But it's a great day, and people come up with a lot of questions, sometimes questions that we've not even thought about.
Oh.
So as we move forward at this aging process, I think the interesting thing for me too is through my lens is to look at it from a 20-year-old and a 30, a 40 through our life cycle. And now I'm 60. So as I used to look at it, maybe as a grandson for someone, I'm now a peer, right? We're in these ages where we've got to kind of we got to look at what's it going to look like for us, and how we do that very well and do it positively.
And so tell me, what makes Western Home Communities unique compared to what many people expect from senior living?
Sure. I think when people hear this word senior living, and the words are interchangeable a little bit. We hear elder living or elders and things like that, and our senior living. As we get into our mature years, what's unique is that we've looked at, just not a place to survive,
Right.
but what kinds of services can we put in together in the wellness sector and therapies and home health and all of those things to really have an individual be able to thrive as they age through the 60s, 70s, 80s, and into their 90s. And we're seeing that. And we're seeing a number of centenarians out there as well. You've seen them. And
there you go.
we've got some healthy 100-year-olds out there in the Cedar Valley.
That's so exciting. And tell me, the event begins with brunch. So why is creating a welcoming atmosphere so important?
I think starting out with brunch and sitting down and just kind of taking the veil off and taking a deep breath, probably reconnecting in the room with a number of people that you might not have seen for a while. Maybe your kids grew up together in high school and college, and then we lose and we gain relationships throughout our life cycle, right?
Exactly.
And a lot of times what we find is that people are reconnecting.
Ooh.
And that's a neat thing to do as we age too, is to reconnect, because these relationships are so important.
Yes, so
as we
important.
age.
Yes.
And because we lose relationships, right? We lose them professionally, we lose them socially. Unfortunately, many people lose a spouse or a loved one.
Right.
And it's really important as we age to continue to build and reconnect and even create new relationships.
Right.
And so that's part of what we hope to do on that exploration day.
I love it. And one featured presentation focuses on organizing and right-sizing, as you mentioned earlier. So why is that topic so relevant?
Yeah, Stephanie Mueller is going to be here, and she's going to be talking about how we reorganize our life and she's going to be talking about stuff, because Vicki, we all have stuff.
Yes, we do.
And some of us accumulate it at a different rate than others. Some of us tuck it away, some of us put it in totes, some of us have it out in the open, but we all have stuff. And sometimes this whole step of what do we do with these things is a hindrance on people taking the next step of either living well at home or moving to a community, or sometimes even moving out of state to a child, to be closer to a child, things like that. But this whole idea of our things, what do we do with it?
Right.
Because we're emotionally tied to them, we're psychologically tied to them, and we need someone to help us through that process.
Of course we do.
So Stephanie's going to be giving a presentation on that day. It should be a really good.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
So what's the biggest mistake people make when they begin right-sizing?
Yeah, Vicki, what I've seen is that people think that they're going to do it all in just one swoop, right?
Oh.
This is an elephant, right?
Yeah.
And we're biting this thing away bite by bite.
Yes.
And because what happens is it becomes overwhelming. And then sometimes helplessness kicks in, and they just leave it.
Oh.
And it just sits there.
Yes, of course.
And there's got to be steps on how we go through that process. And Stephanie's going to help us do that.
Ooh.
Many people have a strategy to do it, but we need assistance on.
Yes.
Because again, if we went into all of our homes, we accumulate things at different rates.
Yes, we do.
Trinkets, pictures, keepsakes, letters, all those sorts of things. Some of us do a strategy where we get rid of things. Others don't. And so we're going to work through that hurdle, because it's a big one.
Yes, a very big one. So tell me, what's the biggest mistake people make when they begin to right size?
Oh, well, I think the mistake that you make is that they, in their mind, think they've got to get rid of everything.
Oh.
And you don't have to get rid of everything, right?
No.
There's keepsakes, there's things that you're going to keep. So that's one of the big things, is that, I'm going through this process, I'm losing everything. If you do it right, you keep the things that you want to keep, and it really isn't just a 1 week process. This process of getting rid and processing and managing stuff really will be the rest of your life. You'll be doing this the rest of your life.
Yes, of course.
And I've seen people do a big chunk, and then they get into their 70s and 80s, and then they do a little bit more, and then they kind of figure out, I don't need these things, So it's a process of, in chapters of life of what they need and what's important to them.
Right. And so many people wait too long to explore their options. Why is it beneficial to start the conversation earlier?
One of the things that's very exciting in the exploration date is that you get people from all ages, right? I mean, you can come if you're under 55, you can come, because what we get also are sons and daughters that are helping their parents go through this process. And when you've got a supportive loved one or a relative or a son and daughter, that's very good. The problem and the challenge that a lot of folks have is they don't make these decisions until there's a crisis.
Right.
Or something's happened. They lose a spouse. They've not talked about it. And when you can go along the process and do it kind of freely and gain knowledge, figure out in your situation what works, instead of, we've got to do this today, or mom or dad has to do this today, or they've got to move in a week, or those sorts of things. It puts a lot of undue stress. And I think people don't always make good, rational decisions when they're under that kind of stress.
Exactly. And what are some of the amenities or services visitors are most surprised to discover during campus tours?
One of the things that we've done in the last 18 months is we've rebranded our wellness, and we've rebranded our therapies, and we've rebranded our at-home. And we did that, Vicki, because I think there was a notion out there that you had to live in a Western home community to get these services, right? If we know that 80% of people want to stay in their home, we rebranded this to the Thrivera brand and our product called Fortified Life, and it helps people stay at home. So what they're going to see is, sure, you're going to be on campus. You're going to see the bricks and sticks, as we call them. You'll see the buildings and all the things, and the pool and the wellness facilities. But they're also going to see that you can still live in your home and have all of these services right here in the Cedar Valley.
Wow. That's revolutionary.
Yep. I think it is too, Vicki. And then, so when that push isn't there that you've got to move on a campus, I think people kind of drop the hands and go, okay, let me really reconsider all these things and what's available out there.
Right. Exactly. So how does Western home communities support wellness beyond physical health?
So when we look at our pillars of wellness, we're looking at the physical, certainly, but there's a number of other things that we look at. Certainly the emotional health. I mean, you want to be emotionally well. As I talked about earlier, you're losing and gaining relationships, right? From a social standpoint, there's things that you want to do. Again, there's a loss going on. Right. So how am I meeting new people? How am I gaining things that spark an interest with me? Yeah. Certainly spiritual, and what do I do? What services are available to me within the campus? What's out in the community? A lot of things. And then the intellectual. And we certainly have really good institutions of higher learning. We've got UNI, we have Hawkeye, we have Upper Iowa, and we have a lot of programs in our community to help with that intellectual piece or pillar as well. And if we can do those 3 or 4 or 5 pieces, we end up aging well.
Oh, yay!
Yeah. And that's really our goal: is how do we help people thrive in this aging process?
Right. And what does purposeful living mean to you?
So what purposeful living means to me is that we all have a mission or a purpose in life. Sometimes we don't identify it very well, but as we age, the good Lord's put us on this planet for a purpose, right?
Right.
And that purpose may be different as we go through these decades.
Right.
And what we like to do is to ask, what's your purpose here?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so many things that we can get involved in. Certainly there's volunteering, taking up new hobbies, those sorts
Mm-hmm.
of things. But if you can identify a purpose with someone, then you can get them plugged into those things and those services and those dimensions really of wellness that help them age as well.
I love that. So tell me, what excites you the most about the future of senior living?
Yeah, what encourages me and what excites me the most is that we now, and especially with these baby boomers coming through, right? The baby boomers are now 81, 82
Mm-hmm.
to about 60. And we've got a glut of baby boomers coming through.
Yes.
Nationally and in Iowa and in the Cedar Valley, that number is 3 times larger than the folks that we're serving that are 81 to 105, right? So it's a big group coming through. It's an influential group. And what excites me is we're looking at aging. Hopefully, I mean, there's health concerns that we typically have, but we're looking at these years in our 60s and 70s and 80s to be productive, to be exciting times where we can continue to do some of the things that we've always planned to do. And hopefully we're putting the resources there, and we're creating places where folks can do this well.
I love that. So please tell us about your family.
So my family, my wife and I, Beth, blended a family about 25 years ago. We have 6 children. My wife is an educator, a lifelong Cedar Falls resident, and is very supportive in the work that I do, and I'm very grateful for that. But as an educator, she gives me a different perspective on this aging process, and she recently retired / repurposed from the University of Northern Iowa.
Nice.
She worked with student teachers, and now has a lot of time, hopefully some extra time to just spend with us as family and our kids and our parents and other pursuits that she wants to do. But our kids, 2 of our kids are here in town. One's in Scottsdale, one is in Kansas City, one is in Minneapolis, and one is in Rochester, Minnesota.
Wow.
So places to visit if they want us to visit, right?
Oh, that's beautiful. Of course they want you to visit.
I think so.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
So do you still follow UNI football? And do you have a favorite football memory to share?
Yeah, if we had a little bit of a scab here, you'd see that I bleed purple, Vicki. You know that.
Yeah.
I had a great experience in my time at UNI with the football team and with TA and Bill Salmon and some of those long time, Coach Farley, who I got the opportunity to play with. But my favorite memory is probably the 2005 season when we went to the national championship in Chattanooga. It was just a great run and a great group of kids and great coaching staff, and we followed them. And other than not getting that national championship, being part of that run, and just the excitement that we've always had with Panther football.
Nice.
And we love the other sports and all the things that are going on at the Gallagher Blue Dorn too.
Right.
So the university is a wonderful place here in the Cedar Valley and here in Cedar Falls to be a part of, and we're glad it's here.
Oh, I love that so much. And what leadership lesson has stayed with you throughout your career?
Yeah, Vicki, my father, long before Hewlett Packard, talked about these things in the 80s. They wrote books on this management by wandering around.
Ooh.
Right? So when you grow up on the farm,
you
learn to manage by wandering around. If you've got livestock, things like that, you are on that farm every single day.
Wow.
And we didn't stay in the house, right? So we roamed the barns, the sheds, the pastures, all those things, the fields. And that's probably the management leadership that stayed with me the most, is that you just being present, but also this management by wandering around and being visual, being fully engaged in what's going on and what are the realities, in our organization or any organization that are going on a day-to-day basis, because you don't see those things by sitting in your office all day. And certainly with us, we have a lot of interaction with our staff, a lot of interaction with families and our residents, and it's really important. And that's been one of my lead, is that management mind wandering around. We joke about it a lot. I think management circles do, but it's one that I've tried to be a major and a lead part of how I manage.
Wow. And what's one thing that residents have taught you about living well?
Oh boy, there's so many.
Yeah.
There's so many lessons from residents, but I think the most part is to just really enjoy each day, because we never know what tomorrow brings, and just the lessons. Some of the things that I'm going to miss when I started. Vicki, as we look back 30 years ago, we had a number of World War II veterans, right, that served.
Yes.
We have very, very few of those, but just the insight of the lives that they've lived, the excitement that they lived, the things that they've seen that have changed in their lifetime, but also the excitement of them continuing to learn as they get older. And you think about what they've had to learn in the last 5 to 10 years with all this digital stuff and cell phones and all those things. But it excites me to see them excited about learning.
Oh, that's beautiful. And so if you could sit down and have coffee with any historical figure, who would it be and why?
Yeah, Ronald Reagan would be, President Reagan would be the guy.
I love
he started out in radio.
Yes,
right?
Of course he did.
And he became an actor.
Yes.
And then became our president. And it would be fun to sit down with Ronald Reagan and just listen to his experiences. And he was a respected president and things like that during some interesting times. But just to get some of his insights on all of the things that he did, right? And so he'd be one of the individuals that would be fun to
it would be
go spend some time with.
I have his diary, that he published back in the day, and that the night of the assassination attempt, he prayed, "Dear Jesus, bless that family, and I forgive my assassin."
Yes.
What? This is what we need today. Forgiveness,
bet.
right?
Yeah. And he was eloquent, and he was a common man president. And, but he was a sharp individual.
Yes,
very thoughtful,
man.
with a lot of empathy.
Yes,
and,
so much empathy.
And the other thing that he did is he counted on the people around him.
Yes.
And we all have to do that.
Right.
We all need to do that. So he showed that very, very well in his leadership style.
I love that so much. So after more than 3 decades at Western Home, what accomplishment makes you most proud?
Yeah, Vicki, the thing that makes us proud is that we are pretty much who we were, when I started, when the forefathers, looked at a home for the aging and the culture, and what our staff, our staff have done over the years, and those that came before us and mentored me, they kept this culture, this mission first, people first, servant spirit. We bring in the innovation. Certainly we want to be financially viable, but I think over the years, we've had a staff that have embraced that and have really done a nice job with those culture pieces and those vision and mission pieces. And I've just been blessed to be, a small part of that with so many people that have contributed to that culture.
Oh, how beautiful. And before we finish, please give listeners and viewers the details on Campus Exploration Day and how they can reserve their spot.
You bet, Vicki. So Campus Exploration Day is coming up on the 26th of August. We're going to start at 10 a.m. We're going to start with brunch, fellowship, sit down, take a deep breath. What's the rest of the day? We do have Stephanie Mueller, who's going to be doing a presentation on organization and stuff.
Yeah, and stuff.
And you can register online at westernhome.org/events, or you can call 319-277-2141. talk to Maria Murphy or Andrew Finnegan, get them on the line, and reserve your space. And we would love to have you out there, and we look forward to the event.
Ah, how beautiful. Any closing thoughts?
No, I just appreciate being with you, Vicki. We've known each other a long time, and this is so much fun. And thank you for giving us this time to not only talk about Western Home and Thriveair and all those services, but how we enhance seniors here in the Cedar Valley. And I so appreciate the time that you've given us today.
It's an honor and such a pleasure. Thank you so much, Jerry.
You bet.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. See you on Wednesday, the 26th for the Campus Exploration Day. And what's that phone number again?
So the number is 319-277-2141.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone.